The legal profession, long considered one of the most stable and tradition-bound sectors, is undergoing a radical transformation as artificial intelligence penetrates courtrooms, law firms, and the very fabric of how justice is administered. This technological revolution brings with it extraordinary efficiencies and troubling disruptions in equal measure, reshaping everything from high-stakes corporate litigation to the average citizen's ability to navigate small claims court. The implications extend far beyond simple automation of repetitive tasks. AI is fundamentally altering how laws are interpreted, cases are argued, and justice is accessed, creating a new legal paradigm that promises greater accessibility while threatening to upend long-standing professional norms and ethical standards. At the heart of this transformation lies AI's ability to process and analyze legal information at superhuman scales. Platforms like Ross Intelligence and LexisNexis Context now parse through millions of case files, statutes, and legal precedents in seconds, identifying relevant citations and arguments that might take human lawyers weeks to uncover. The U.S. Department of Justice recently reported a 300% increase in case resolution speed among early adopters of these tools, while major firms like Baker McKenzie have reduced research costs by 40% through AI-assisted legal analytics. For the everyday citizen, this translates to more affordable legal services. Online platforms such as Do Not Pay leverage similar technology to help users contest parking tickets or file small claims without attorney fees, democratizing access to basic legal remedies. Yet these efficiencies come with significant trade-offs that the legal community is only beginning to grapple with. The rise of predictive analytics tools like Premonition, which boasts an 85% accuracy rate in forecasting case outcomes based on judge and attorney history, raises profound questions about judicial impartiality and the very nature of legal reasoning. When algorithms can predict rulings with such precision, does this reveal hidden biases in the system, or does it risk creating self-fulfilling prophecies that undermine justice? Similarly concerning are experiments with AI-generated legal arguments, where systems like Harvey AI draft motions and contracts that increasingly pass muster in court, a development that recently made headlines when a New York attorney faced sanctions for submitting ChatGPT-generated briefs containing fabricated citations. The impact on legal professions follows this paradoxical pattern of empowerment and obsolescence. Document review, once the bread and butter work for junior associates, has been largely automated by tools like Abrevia, which can analyze thousands of contracts in hours rather than weeks. While this reduces drudge work, it also eliminates traditional career pathways in law firms. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology recently projected that 35% of current legal tasks could be automated within 5 years, particularly in areas like discovery, compliance, and basic contract drafting. However, new specialties are emerging just as rapidly. Legal prompt engineers, who craft precise queries for AI legal research tools, now command six-figure salaries at top firms, while algorithmic transparency attorneys specialize in challenging biased AI systems in court. For ordinary citizens interacting with the justice system, AI presents both unprecedented access and new forms of exclusion. Virtual legal assistants like LawDroid guide users through straightforward legal processes in plain language, while apps such as LegalZoom leverage AI to generate customized legal documents for a fraction of traditional attorney fees. This has proven particularly transformative for underserved communities. A 2023 Harvard study found AI legal aid tools increase successful housing dispute resolutions among low-income tenants by 60% in pilot cities. Yet these same technologies create new barriers for those without digital literacy or reliable internet access, potentially exacerbating existing inequalities in justice system participation. The courtroom itself is being reshaped by experimental AI applications that test the boundaries of legal ethics. Several U.S. jurisdictions now use AI-powered risk assessment tools to inform bail and sentencing decisions, despite studies showing racial bias in some algorithms. China's internet courts handle over 3 million cases annually with AI judges that render instant verdicts on straightforward disputes. a model praised for efficiency but criticized for lacking human nuance. Even witness testimony is being augmented through AI memory enhancement tools that help reconstruct events from partial recollections, raising questions about how technology might reshape evidentiary standards. Emerging technologies promise to push these boundaries further. Blockchain-based smart contracts that automatically execute when conditions are met could render certain types of litigation obsolete, while neural decoding technologies being tested in some jurisdictions might one day introduce brain scans as evidence. The most radical development comes from quantum computing applications in law, where companies like Quantinuum are developing systems that could model every possible interpretation of complex statutes simultaneously, potentially reducing years of appellate litigation to hours of computation. This rapid transformation demands urgent attention to ethical guardrails and human oversight. The American Bar Association recently issued guidelines requiring attorneys to supervise all AI-generated work product, while the European Union's proposed AI Act includes specific provisions for legal applications. However, enforcement remains inconsistent, and many small firms and solo practitioners lack resources to properly vet increasingly sophisticated AI outputs. There's also growing concern about concentration of legal AI development in a handful of tech companies. When a single algorithm like Westlaw's AI research assistant influences legal research nationwide, its biases and limitations become systemic issues. For society at large, the stakes couldn't be higher. As AI reshapes who can access justice and how it's administered, we risk creating parallel legal systems. One for those who understand and can afford advanced legal tech, another for those relying on overburdened public defenders and analog court processes. The technology's potential to reduce costs and delays is undeniable, but so is its capacity to embed existing inequalities in new digital forms. The legal profession, long regarded as a bastion of tradition and human judgment, is undergoing an unprecedented metamorphosis as artificial intelligence infiltrates courtrooms, law offices, and the very mechanisms of justice. This revolution is not merely about efficiency. It is redefining the philosophical foundations of law, forcing society to confront fundamental questions about fairness, access, and the nature of legal reasoning itself. The implications ripple far beyond corporate boardrooms and into the lives of ordinary citizens seeking justice, creating a paradoxical landscape where AI simultaneously democratizes and distorts the legal process. One of the most profound shifts has occurred in legal research and precedent analysis. Where junior associates once spent weeks poring over case law, AI systems like Ross Intelligence and LexisNexis Context now analyze millions of documents in seconds, uncovering obscure precedents and constructing arguments with terrifying precision. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit recently began experimenting with AI-assisted opinion drafting, while startups like Evisort use machine learning to identify contractual risks invisible to the human eye. This computational prowess has yielded undeniable benefits. Class action lawsuits that once took years to prepare can now be assembled in months, and pro se litigants can access free AI tools to navigate small claims court. Yet beneath these efficiencies lurk existential threats to legal integrity. Predictive analytics tools such as Premonition claim to forecast case outcomes with 85% accuracy based on historical data about judges and lawyers. While proponents argue this exposes systemic biases, critics warn it could create a self-fulfilling prophecy where algorithms dictate strategy rather than legal merit. More alarmingly, Harvard Law Review documented cases where AI-generated briefs contained hallucinated citations that fooled understaffed courts, a phenomenon so pervasive that the Florida bar now requires attorneys to certify they did not rely on undisclosed AI. The line between assistance and deception grows perilously thin. The human cost of this transformation is equally stark. Document review, once the proving ground for young lawyers, has been decimated by AI, with Thomson Reuters estimating a 70% reduction in entry-level positions by 2026. Yet new specialties emerge. Algorithmic accountability attorneys now specialize in challenging biased AI systems in court, while legal prompt engineers craft queries that extract maximum value from AI research tools. This polarization risks creating a two-tier profession where a handful of tech-savvy lawyers thrive while others face obsolescence. For ordinary citizens, AI presents both liberation and new forms of exclusion. Apps like Do Not Pay have helped overturn millions of parking tickets and tenant evictions through chatbot logic, while LegalZoom's AI generates customized contracts for small businesses at 10% of traditional legal fees. Yet these tools remain inaccessible to those without digital literacy, potentially exacerbating justice gaps. Even more troubling are experiments like China's internet courts, where AI judges resolve 3 million cases annually with instant verdicts, efficient but devoid of human discretion for mitigating circumstances. Emerging technologies promise to escalate these tensions further. Smart contracts on blockchain networks automatically execute without human intervention, potentially rendering entire categories of litigation obsolete. Neurotechnology startups are developing AI-assisted memory reconstruction to help witnesses recall events, a tool that could revolutionize testimony or become the modern equivalent of polygraph pseudoscience. Most radically, quantum legal modeling being tested at Stanford could someday simulate every possible interpretation of a statute simultaneously, collapsing years of appellate review into hours. The ultimate irony? The legal system may soon face lawsuits about itself. A landmark case pending before the European Court of Human Rights challenges whether AI-assisted verdicts violate the right to a fair trial. Meanwhile, the American Bar Association struggles to update ethics rules fast enough. Their recent prohibition on algorithmic client steering came only after AI was caught prioritizing wealthy clients at major firms. AI isn't just changing how we practice law. It is revealing that many human legal processes were already algorithmic. The patterns AI detects in judicial bias, the predictable arguments it generates, the cases it forecasts accurately, all suggest that much of law operated on hidden formulas now being exposed. The terrifying promise of AI may not be that it makes lawyers obsolete, but that it proves how replaceable our judgment always was. As this reckoning unfolds, one truth becomes clear. The future of law won't be decided by choosing between humans and algorithms, but by deciding which human values we encode into the machines that will inevitably shape justice. If you believe in harnessing technology responsibly, like to support balanced tech ecology coverage, share this with policymakers and tech leaders. Comment your vision for sustainable AI below. Subscribe to channel name for weekly deep dives.